So, guys, to be successful within the crypto market, you need to firstly do one thing. Understand that for every winner, that there's going to be a loser, and understand that if you follow the narrative and follow the hype, you'll be following that narrative and hype all the way into euphoria, where your P&L is going to look so good. You're going to think that you're going to be able to take over the world. You're going to be rich. You're going to buy a new house, and then unfortunately, it crashes completely to zero, and that's a horrible thing. And what I want to do is try and educate you guys three common myths that could make or break your mindset as to whether you're going to be successful going into the next crypto bull run. Here's myth number one. So, myth number one, the cheaper the coin, the more the gains. Now, what do I mean by that? Because a lot of people say in the comments, and a lot of people say to me personally, that I'm going to get this coin because it's so cheap. Bitcoin's too expensive. Bitcoin's 100,000. I can't afford 100,000 to buy a Bitcoin. So this is myth number one, guys. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go into CoinGecko and we're going to look at some data and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean and how some of these things that people are saying are impossible. I've seen people say Shiba Inu is going to go to $17. Jasmine Coin is going to go to 25. Like all sorts of things and all sorts of predictions are being flown out there. And what we can do is we can go through a simple step and we're going to go through that together to find out whether it's even possible that those predictions can actually happen. So the first thing that we're going to do, you can see there's lots of data on here, guys. So if you're new to crypto, just take a step back and look and analyze as to how you can get an advantage going into the next market. The more you educate yourself, the more that you understand, the more that you've got a better chance of being successful. Because remember, half of the people watching YouTube, hopefully more than half of the people watching this video, are going to be successful in the crypto market. Because the aim of the game is for me to be successful in the next crypto market. And I feel like I've positioned myself well going into the next crypto market, but I haven't personally been successful. I'm not rich, guys. I've positioned myself well. I'm doing well. And I've educated myself over the past 4 to 5 years within the crypto market. So these are the few things that we can look at. We're going to start with Bitcoin. You can see that Bitcoin's trading at $93,914. And you can see that Ethereum is trading at $3,487. Now, the concept that people say is, I can't afford a Bitcoin. I can't afford a Bitcoin because it's 93,000, but maybe I can scrape an Ethereum. Maybe I've got $3,488 and I can afford one Ethereum. Doesn't work like that, guys. You can buy a portion of any of the assets and you don't have to buy one of each asset. So you don't need to buy $3,487 worth of Ethereum. You can go and buy 1% of Ethereum if you wanted to. You can go buy 1% of Bitcoin if you wanted to. You could go and buy 0.0001% of Bitcoin if you wanted to. $100, whatever, guys. So take that thought out of your mindset where you think that that's too expensive for me to buy. That's too expensive to buy. I look at analysis to tell me whether something's fair value and whether something is expensive or not expensive. I don't look at the actual price itself. So you can see as you go down 237, everybody's saying that Solana is going to flip Ethereum this year. For Solana to flip Ethereum, do you think that Solana needs to beat $3,488.16? No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. Which brings us on to the next step, which is the market cap. On the right-hand side here, you can see what the market cap is of each cryptocurrency. And you can see that Bitcoin is nearly $2 trillion. 1,858,520,741,801. So that's the market cap of Bitcoin. And the way that you work the market cap is you look at the circulative value or the circulative amount, and we'll click into Bitcoin. And you can see that we've got 19,788,106 circulating supply of Bitcoin. So there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That's what's being mined so far. And then we've only got 1.2 million, just over 1.2 million to be mined. So we look at the circulating supply and then we can analyze that against the price. And that gives us the market cap. So that's a simple calculation that we can do. So this brings me to my next step, which is putting it all into practice, guys. And what I want to do is a simple calculation. So you can do this yourself, pause the video, guys, get your calculator up, look at what your cryptocurrencies you've got, look at what you're looking to invest in, look at what influencers are telling you, what levels that it can hit. And then we can do this simple calculation to find out whether it's going to be possible, what kind of market cap it'd need to get there. So that's the important thing, guys, the market cap. That's what we're going to be looking at, the market cap, not the price. The market cap's more important than the price. And we can tell that by looking at the prices here. See, Tron is 12th within the crypto market cap as far as rankings are concerned, and it's 20 cents. And then you've got Avalanche, or you've got Avalanche above it, which is $43.29, which is 11th. Then you've got Toncoin, which is $6.24. Now, $6.24 is a lot more than 20 cents, but Tron coin is 12th within the crypto rankings because the market cap is bigger. It's got a 17 billion market cap, whereas Toncoin's got a 15 billion market cap. So it's not about the price, guys. Completely forget about the price. This is the calculation that we're going to do. And the reason why we're going to do this calculation is because we keep getting so many comments saying that Shiba Inu is going to go to $1. It's definitely not going to go to $1. I'll tell you that now, guys. Shiba Inu is going to go to 1 cent. That's the second common one that I'm getting. And that's something that I've been asked from a couple of friends. Can Shiba Inu hit 1 cent? We can do a calculation, and we're going to do this calculation exactly now to find out what kind of market cap that we need for Shiba Inu to get to 1 cent. So what we're looking for is 0.01. That's the target. We're going to divide that by its current price. Divide that by its current price, which is 0.402503. That's going to give us how much it needs to gain to be able to get there. It needs to gain 399.52x. 399.52x. Right. Doing this in real time now. So what we need to do next is we need to look at the Shiba Inu current market cap, which is 14 billion, 14, 732 million, 559,000, 558, and we're going to times that by the amount of X's that we need to get to 1 cent, which was 399.52. 399.52. And that's going to give us the market cap that we would need to get to that 1 cent level with the current circulative supply of Shiba Inu that's in circulation now. It's a big number, guys. That is 5,885,951,795,092. And then we'll stick in the 16 cents just for good measure. So is it possible that Shiba Inu can get to that kind of market cap? How about when we compare it to Bitcoin? Compare it to Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin's got a 1.85 billion market cap. Bitcoin is 60% of the whole of the crypto market combined. So what would that mean for Shiba Inu to get to that kind of level? So that brings us nicely going into myth number 2, guys. Hope you understand that a little bit better. A lot of people that are new to crypto don't understand that the price isn't the most important thing. The market cap and where the asset is going to go in the future is going to be fully determined by one thing. Unfortunately, it's going to be community and marketing, but more real case and utility. Is it going to survive? Most things aren't going to survive, guys. Most things drop 98% during the bear market. Now, should you be holding for 2 years? Should you be holding for 3 years? Should you be holding for 4 years? I'm not going to tell you what to do, guys, but what I'm doing is definitely not holding for that. I'm going to be scaling out during the course of the bull market, and I'm going to be hoping to take advantage of what I think is going to be leg 1 of alt season and then leg 2 of alt season by scaling out of the first leg and then using a part of that capital going into the second leg. That's the plan, guys. The markets rhyme. They never repeat. So basically, I don't know what the hell will happen. I'm just planning and preparing the best I can based on previous analysis. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Wall Street cheat sheet. Wall Street cheat sheet coincides with all the different emotions during the course of the business cycle. Up here, these emotions here coincide with one thing. When there's lots of stimulus in the market, when there's lots of confidence in the market, when shops are opening, when new money's coming into the market, everybody's doing well. You're going through these phases of hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. This is part of the business cycle. This is how the business cycle works, guys. This big part here lasts a short amount of time, more so for altcoins. You've got euphoria, and then you have your pullback, your complacency. We just need to cool off for the next rally. And then they think that they're going to put in a new higher high. But that, in fact, is the higher low and the confirmation of the bear market. You don't understand you're in a bear market until you're in a bear market. You don't get confirmation you're in a bear market until you're in a bear market. Why do you think that is? It's because you're putting in those lower highs. Those lower highs are the important thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. And I've marked it out on the Cardano chart. And this is what I want to show you about holding something for 2 years, holding something for 3 years, holding something for 4 years. Now, Cardano, it's got good fundamentals behind it. It's stood the test of time. They've got lots being built on there. They've got lots going on. They're integrating with Bitcoin. However, if you'd have held Cardano during the last cycle, and if you'd have held it, for instance, this is going to be our 2-year hold, our 3-year hold, our 4-year hold. If you'd have held it, say you bought here, you bought here, you bought here. You've held it for 2 years, you've held it for 3 years, you've held it for 4 years. Bringing you into 2024, So you've rode the wave all the way to the top of the bull market. Your P&L would have looked absolutely amazing. Everybody would be thinking that you're a king. You're going to be thinking you're a king. You're going to be thinking you're a king trader because everybody's winning at this point when it's in euphoria. Everybody's P&L is in profit and people just get greedy and think it's going to keep going up. The news is telling people it's going to go up, but it's part of the business cycle, guys. What goes up must come down. So you're in euphoria and then you come back down. This is the complacency that we just talked about on the Wall Street cheat sheet. You've put in the lower high and then you continue. So if you'd have held, say you bought Cardano here, you were absolute king. You bought Cardano right at the bottom of this cycle and you rode it all the way up. You'd have got 1,252% gains. And then you've pulled back down to the bear market low. If you'd held it for 2 years, held it for 3 years, look at that, guys. Your P&L is exactly the same place as what it was 2 or 3 years ago. You've put yourself into a high risk asset. You've held it for a long period of time and it hasn't paid off, guys. So don't hold something for 2 years. Don't hold something for 3 years. Don't listen to what they say because there's tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. And who knows what's going to be replaced with what. And you look back at the dot-com bubble, guys. If you look back at the dot-com bubble, exactly the same thing happened when the internet started. You've got all these apps. You've got all these things happening. And then one thing happens is 99% of everything goes to zero. You end up with your Googles. You end up with your Amazons. You end up with your YouTubes. And that's exactly what will probably happen at one point in crypto, guys. You're going to get your major cryptocurrencies and you're not going to know which ones they are. So you need to take advantage and make sure that you take profits along the way. Otherwise, your profits will go back to zero, just like Cardano did from here. If you were late to Cardano at any point after the break of the previous high, then you would be in a loss when you come back down in the bear market low. So it is a business cycle, and that's going to bring me nicely onto the next thing, which is something that every time that there's a Bitcoin cycle, they're going to tell you one thing. Things are different. There's always something different, and there's always a super cycle. So they're going to tell you there's a super cycle, and that brings us to the next thing. And what I've got here is the Bitcoin all-time history index. And the next thing that we're going to talk about is the super cycle, because they might not be telling you now, they'll be telling you at some point during the future that there's going to be a super cycle. Hold your bags for 2 years, hold your bags for 3 years, hold your bags for 4 years, so they can dump on you and they can make the profit. Think about this, guys. This is the first Bitcoin halving, November 2012. Then you've got the next Bitcoin halving. These coincide with the Bitcoin cycles and they coincide with the business cycles, they coincide with the presidential elections, they coincide with quantitative easing, quantitative tightening. Different types of the stock market give you indications as to where we are, how you can take advantage of gains. So these are the different Bitcoin halvings that I've marked out, and these are the different cycles. And you can see that there's an estimation, every cycle is around about 4 years. Doesn't mean that that's the top of the cycle. Look here, go back to this one, 2020. That wasn't the top of the cycle. That gave us an indication we were going to get a new run. Things are different this year on Bitcoin. We ran up into the halving for the first time. Didn't happen there, didn't happen there, didn't happen there, didn't happen there. But what I want to do is I want to measure from where the halving was to the top of each cycle to try and get an indication when we think that the top of the cycle potentially could be. So if we just go back here, and the further you go back into Bitcoin history, guys, when it's really early on, there's nobody in, there's no liquidity in, and the wrong people are in the market, it's more difficult to get an indication. The more recent the time frame, the more better the bias. So we're going to measure these together from the halving to its top. That was 51 weeks. This is the weekly chart. We're going to do it again here. From the halving to the top, that was 78 weeks. We're going to do it again here for the Bitcoin one. It's a little bit different, this one, remember? From the halving to the top, 79 weeks. 78 weeks, 79 weeks. And now, from the Bitcoin halving, which was back here, 15th of April, 2024, around about that within the week. And then we're going to measure what would 79 bars look like, what would 78 bars look like, and then get an estimation as to when the top of the next bull cycle is likely going to be. 78, 79. It's not an exact science, guys. It's happened the last 2 times. It's happened the last 2 times. So that would be a date of around. That would be a date of around 3rd of November 2025, coinciding with near the top of the previous cycle, guys. So that's my estimation for the top. I'm expecting a lot of peaks, a lot of troughs along the way, and I'm taking advantage by taking profits and scaling out the same as what I scaled in. So those are 3 myths, guys. Don't get caught out by those 3 myths. Don't think that there's going to be a super cycle and that's just going to continue and continue and continue, because there's a high probability that it's not, because it hasn't happened here, hasn't happened here, hasn't happened here. But they told us it was happening here. They told us it was happening here, and they told us it was happening here. Every single time we had a big major pullback. So don't get caught out by those myths, guys. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to join me on my journey through crypto, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord group, and I'll see you very soon.